Hi, my name is Vince Endress. I'm the pastor at First Christian Church, and we're going to take a moment and talk about election time. Um, we got a big decision to make on Tuesday as a country, and we're going to the polls, and people have been asking me for a couple of months now, who is it that a Christian should vote for? And I definitely have my strong opinions on that. I think there's a clear-cut path for Christians, and I want to tell you about that. And I'm going to start off by sharing with you a piece of scripture which you probably heard before. But this is in this example, the Pharisees are wanting to confront Jesus, and the Pharisees are always trying to one-up Jesus. So they come up with this trick question. They say, Jesus, should we pay taxes or not? Now, this is very tricky for Jesus because all of a sudden he's standing all in the middle of all these Jews that hate paying taxes. So if he says, yeah, we should pay taxes, then all of a sudden he's hated by the Jewish population. But if he says, no, we shouldn't pay taxes, well, now he's an insurrectionist, and he's saying don't pay taxes to Caesar. So what is Jesus going to do? So he says, let me see a coin. And he looks at the coin, and he says, whose picture is on this? And they say, well, Caesar's is. And Jesus says, give to Caesar that which belongs to Caesar, and give to God that which belongs to God. And I think that's a fantastic answer. There's a couple things that I think we ought to notice about that. Number one is there are some things that belong to Caesar, and there are some things that belong to God. What are those things that belong to God? Well, if you're a Christian, everything. You see, we believe that God has forgiven us the debts that we owe, so that now we forgive other people. We believe that God gave us His Son and gave us salvation, so that now we give ourselves to others. Jesus says those who lose their lives will gain it. We lose our lives. Jesus says, if someone asks you for your shirt, don't just give me your shirt, give me your cloak also. Because material possessions mean nothing to us. God means everything to us. That's what we believe in. And those are in our lives and our time and our money is what belongs to God. The second thing we can notice, and I think is important, is that there's a difference between rendering unto Caesar and rendering unto God. And Jesus' kingdom is not of this world. He is not Caesar. In fact, Jesus says to Pilate, he says, I am a king, but my kingdom is not of this world. Caesar's kingdom is of this world. My kingdom is of a different world. It's two different things that we're dealing with here. So let's get into the election a little bit and look at what we should do about these things, of who we should vote for. Well, let's look at the abortion issue, okay? Because I know that weighs on an awful lot of Christian minds. Because if you're pro-life, which candidate is going to be better for you? Well, over here we have Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton has said pretty well it should not be the government's responsibility to make decisions regarding abortion, even into late term. Now, some people misconstrue that a little bit and say Hillary Clinton is for late-term abortions. She's not for it. Nobody's for it. Nobody thinks that's the greatest thing in the world to do is to get pregnant and then rip the baby up right before it comes out. What Hillary Clinton says is that the government should not have any influence into that decision. So leave that up to the family. Donald Trump has very clearly said, no, he wants to end Roe v. Wade and he wants to make those illegal. However, normally under Democrat leadership, and this is just statistical, this is just data that shows under Democrat leadership, abortions go down. Now, why is that? Well, that's mostly, most people think that's because of the social programs that are provided. A woman is more likely to carry her baby to term if she has food and she has shelter for that baby. Well, which one is right? You know what? I don't know. That's for you to decide. You can decide which side really helps your cause and furthers your cause and cast that vote, because that vote belongs to Caesar. Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. But while you're doing it, on your way to that voting booth, why don't you find a shelter to help people? Why don't you find a food bank to work at? When you're coming back after you've cast that vote and you've given Caesar his dues, why don't you give God his dues also? Find a way to get involved. Find a way to help people. I'm kind of sick of hearing about data because everybody has their data that they're going to use. Depending on how I look at the data, I can say simultaneously that Obama was the greatest president ever and Obama was the worst president ever, all depending on what I want to look at. I can look at jobs and they say, oh, Trump's job plan is going to create millions of new jobs, but Hillary's going to kill the economy. Well, guess what? Hillary says exactly the opposite thing, and they both have data to support it. So let me give you some data. There is an organization called Family Promise that tries to help homeless families that have young children. Well, guess what? The data nationwide shows that if somebody enters into that program, 75% of those people will be helped within 9 weeks. 9 weeks. We could virtually end homelessness for children if Christians came together and supported this cause. And for almost no overhead. So your money's being well spent. But our last meeting here in Calcasieu Parish, we have one going, we had 7 people attend. How can that be? Thousands of people go to church. Because it's easy to go to church. It's easy to click on Facebook and do things on Facebook. It's hard to actually give of our time. That's what God demands of us. So if you think casting that vote for one or the other is going to do your job as a Christian, you're wrong. On Facebook, I don't know if you're like me, I get tired of looking at it. I see so many political posts, so many political posts, so many political posts. I hate this person, I hate that person, this person's terrible, that person's terrible. But you know what? How many times have you seen posts that say, love your enemy? How many times have you seen posts that say, hey, there's something called human trafficking that's still going on today, and we can stop it. Here's how you get involved. You haven't seen those because people don't want to get involved. But I'm telling you right now, that's what Christ wants from you and me, is to get involved. Not in the political process. That belongs to Caesar. Don't confuse the two. Get involved with people. When is the last time that you've handed somebody a loaf of bread that needed it? If you don't know how to do that, by the way, and you're saying, Pastor Vince, you know what? That sounds great. I would love to do that, but I don't know. I can help you. Email me. We live in a capitalist society. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. We speak with our money. And I'm telling you right now, when I became a pastor, I realized that's a big thing. You need money in order to do things. I need money right now just to share this video. Okay? Money is a big deal in our society. If you believe that Hillary Clinton is best going to suit your needs, give to her campaign. I urge you to, because we speak with our money. If you believe Donald Trump will best meet your needs, give to his campaign. But before you do that, how much money have you given to your local church? Oh, there it is. He just said it. He wants money. Yeah, churches operate on money. Okay? So that's how the churches go out and do things. But if you don't trust your church to do stuff right with your money, which I would go ahead and tell you, get a new church if you don't trust them to do something right with your money. If you don't, give it somewhere else. Don't give it to my church. If you don't feel like we're right, go give it to another church. And if you don't feel like the other church is right either, you know what? United Methodists have UMCOR, and they go out and they help people. Disciples of Christ has Week of Compassion. They go out and help people. They help flood victims. They help people get into homes. You can Google for yourself charities that don't require overhead or most cost-efficient charities. Go do that. Instead of making an excuse of how people are misusing your money, go find a charity and give to them. Because there are people less fortunate in this world than you are. And God demands us to help them. The Bible is about feeding the poor, helping the oppressed, serving the widows. If you're not feeding and serving and helping, then you're doing it wrong. But if you feel like that vote is going to all of a sudden make a big difference and do it right for you, you've misread the word and misinterpreted Jesus' words. So I'm going to leave you with these thoughts. When you go to those polls, make a very good informed decision of who you're going to vote for. Pray about it. But more than that, I want you to live the Christian life. If you have a problem getting involved with it, either message me on this when I post it on Facebook, or message me on YouTube, or email me. My email address is vinceendress@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you and love to help you live the Christian life like Jesus intended us to do.